All right, Algo learners, welcome back to part 2, session 4, moving average crossover. I thought to kick this part off, we would just take a look at a chart and understand some of the relationships between the different moving averages that we've been creating. I have here a chart of SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. It is a 6-month chart, and it's 1-day intervals. So over the last 6 months, this really will help us take a look at some of these moving averages. And so up here represented on the chart are 4 different moving averages. The first one is our fastest line, which is the gold line. And so you could see we call it the fastest line because it's really vacillating the most. Our second fastest line, and that's just because it's 5-day, right? 5-day average. And then we have our second fastest, which is the 10-day moving average. So you can see it's a little slower. And that right there will be the magenta line. So you can see our magenta line. And our 50-day moving average is represented by the black line. It's much slower, much less volatile. And then our slowest moving average that we have on the chart is our 200-day moving average. Okay. So you can just see it, just a very general trend line. So let's go on over to Blue Shift. Let's go to your version 3. And let's go ahead and copy all of that. And let's create a strategy. We're going to call it moving underscore AVG underscore V4. All right. Okay. Control V. We're going to paste that in there. And let's go ahead and take a look at see where we're at and how we would revise this. Okay. Well, first things first, we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at our big universe of the S&P 500. We're going to eliminate this universe here where we were just looking at Apple and Deere. Cannot forget to change our context universe though. Instead of 2, we're going to just go back to underscore 500. All right, and so that will get us there. All right, so we're gonna have to do a couple things here. So I'm gonna rename this called day 1 ago. All right, so we're basically going to look at yesterday's close. We're going to call that day 1 ago. And I cannot use dot, I have to use underscore. Okay, and so, so now what we're going to see, we're just checking yesterday's close, basically. And we're going to be able to get the pricing and be able to understand from that. Well, you'll see. So, you don't need me rambling. All right. So now that we have those, let's go and create context day 2 ago. SMA fast equals context day 1 ago fast plus 1. And we're going to go context day 2 ago context day 1 ago SMA slow plus 1. I meant to go slow here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to find the moving average, the 5-day moving average from 2 days ago, and then we need to find the 10-day moving average from 2 days ago. And so we're going to be creating these variables here. So you could see day 2 ago fast is going to be the day 1 ago fast, which is 5 plus 1. So this variable here is going to be 6. And then from here we have 10 plus 1 on the slow. So that'll be 11. And so I will show you why we're going to be doing that in just a minute. But we're needing to set this up in this way. So anyway, and we'll keep our SMA long term at 200. So now we're looking at creating the series of data for each of our stocks. Okay, let's do this. Let's just kind of start from scratch here. I think it'll be easier for you to understand. We're going to keep the current price. So we're still going to pull down the current price. I still think there's some value in that. So we'll do that. But let's do this. Let's do day 1 ago. Actually, this day 2 ago. So SMA slow equals, okay, so this is going to be context hist. So remember the slow. Actually, you know what? Just so we're sorry to do this to you guys, let's just go fast. So this is our 5-day. So our 5-day moving average from 2 days ago. Here's what we're going to need to do. So we know we have our data. So we have our, and we're just going to call it back from context.hist. All right. And so we want to know, so this data is going to be, we've already set this up. Context day 2 ago, SMA fast, colon. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go -2 dot mean. All right, so here's what we did. So remember, we don't want to know what the 5-day moving average and the 10-day moving average were from yesterday. We'll find that in a second, but we need to go back 2 days ago and find out what the relationship was between the 5-day moving average and the 10-day moving average. That's what we're attempting to do here. Let me go ahead and do day 2 ago SMA slow was context his if I can type context day 2 ago SMA underscore slow -2 dot mean, and then open and close paren because we want to do this for every stock that we have. All right, so what do we know? Let's go back up here to context dot day 2 ago underscore SMA underscore fast. We know that from the math up here, it's 5 plus 1 equals 6. All right, so we know that we have basically -6 colon -2. So what we're doing is -2 will be the closing price, not from yesterday, but from 2 days ago. And then we're going to go back to the element in the -6 position. And so that from -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 is 5 days worth of closing data. And we're going to take the mean of that, of those 5 days. And that will give us the 5-day moving average as it stood 2 days ago. Okay? The slow, the same thing. We know that context dot day 2 ago underscore SMA underscore slow is 11. And so we're going to go from not yesterday's close, but the close from 2 days ago. And we're going to go to the element that's in the -11th position. So you got, basically that's going to give us 10 days. we're going to take the closing prices for 10 days. So we're going to take the mean of that. So that's going to give us our 10-day average. But from 2 days ago. So now let's do day 1 ago. So this will be yesterday's. Day 1 ago. Fast equals context hist. SMA fast. And I don't need to put anything there because after that colon, if I don't put anything there, that means we're going to pull the very last piece of data that we received, which was yesterday's close. And then we're going to go into the data set basically 5 days. So we're going to pull in 5 days worth of data starting from yesterday's close. And we're going to take the mean of those 5 days. And so this will give us our 5-day moving average as it stood yesterday. All right. So day 1 go, and let's go ahead and get the 10-day moving average as it stood at close of yesterday. Okay. All right, so now we have those relationships. So we've now pulled down the numbers. Basically, we're pulling down 4 numbers. So I'm just going to see if I could highlight our numbers. And if I just want to go into this area right here, that crossover, here's the 4 numbers that we're pulling down. We're going to be pulling the number that's representative of the 2-day ago slow, 2-day ago fast, 1 day ago fast, 1 day ago slow. And so those are the numbers, those 4 data points that we're pulling down. All right. Now, we're getting there. So now let's take a look at our signals. So we got a day 2 ago, underscore signal. And so what we're trying to find was day 2 ago slow. Was our slow line greater than our day 2 ago fast? All right, and then let's do our day 1 ago signal. Day 1 ago SMA fast is greater than day 1 ago slow. So we're doing a Boolean for each of these. So these Booleans right here are going to return, oh, see a mistake. Our Booleans are going to give us a true or a false. So based off of the relationship between the day 2 ago SMA slow and the day 2 ago SMA fast, the signal is going to be either true or false. And then same with the day 1 ago signal. All right. And so basically if the slow line is above the fast line, so the 10-day above the 5-day on the day 2 ago closing, this is going to be a true. And so if we, and if we want to go back to our chart, here it is, our day 2 ago, which are these 2 data points right here. We're comparing them both, and here it is. The slow is actually greater than the fast. So that will give us a true. So in our chart right there, if we were just using SPY and we came across that day 2 ago data, that would be true. And if we look at our day 1 data, which is just our yesterday's close, fast above slow, and here we are. Day 5, the yesterday's close, so that's day 1 ago. The fast line, which is the 5-day moving average, is above the 10-day moving average. And so that's going to be true as well. So you can see if we get a signal true for day 2 ago signal, and if we get a true for day 1 ago signal, then we're going to make that part of our buy data frame. We're going to put that stock into our buy data frame. So anyway, now what we need to do is we need to add all these series to our data frame. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and we're gonna add we're gonna start with day 2. Day 2 ago. All right, and we got our day 2 ago. All right, and then we'll just stick here. Day 2 ago. Day 2 ago. All right, so basically we're sticking these into our data frame. So basically we're making them columns. So data frame, day 1 ago, SMA slow, equals day 1 ago. Day 1 ago, slow. Day 1 ago. Sorry, I meant fast. Got to label fast. All right. Oh, and we need our signals. Let me go up here. I want to put our signal up here. So we have our day 2 ago signal equals day 2 ago signal. So that's going to be a true or false. Day 1 ago signal equals day 1 ago signal. Okay. All right, so now we have populated our series into the data frame. We've named the columns that it's going into for each of the stocks, and we also put in our current price as well. So I want to make sure we have the current price too. Okay, so now we're going to be creating some data frames to host our trades. And so here's the, remember the buy long data frame. So we're going to use the existing DF data frame, and we're going to be looking at some conditions. And so what are our conditions? Let me just clear this out. All right, so here's the conditions that we're going to look for. Pretty simple, just like we talked about. So for the buy, we're going to basically do a true with our signal. So both signals need to be true. So here we go. We have our day 2 ago signal needs to be true. Okay, and then we're going to close the paren. But we also need our day 1 signal, day 1 ago signal to be true. Just make sure I got all right. So again, if the stock has these two signals as true, then they met the criteria for the buy strategy. And that stock will be populated into the DF_BL data frame. And then we're going to go ahead and just print out the number of longs just so we know how many went into the data frame. So now let's look at the sell data frame. So basically, as you can probably tell, both of these signals, if they're both false, so basically if they're flipped, well then they're now going to be, those stocks are going to be in our sell strategy. So if you want, just, we don't need to recreate the wheel here, right guys? You're not going to, look at me poorly for doing a Control C, right? Kind of coming down here and a Control V. And so what we can do is we can come here and go false. Oops. Somewhere I hit my caps lock. False. And then we come down here, over here, and go false. And let's just clean this up back on the back end. And there we go. All right. So now we have our data frames for our trades. And so that will work for us. And then remember, so here's how we're going to create and place our trades. So we want to know the number of our trades. So we got to work on our weighting first. And so we know how many number of stocks are in our buy strategy and how many number are in our sell strategy. We need to combine them both. That will be our denominator, if you will, for our weighting. And so if we don't have any trades at all, we're going to change this up, make it a little bit more fun. We're just going to print we'll go caps lock, no trades today. All right, we'll just do that. And then, but if we do have some trades, then here's our weighting. So we're just going to have 1 divided by the number of trades that we have. For example, if the number of trades were 10, then basically 10% of each stock, or excuse me, each stock will have 10% of the portfolio, and so forth. So, that's how we're going to compute our weightings. And then we have, for the stock that's in our buy long, we're going to order target percent of that same weighting. We're going to print out the price that we purchased it at, and we're going to be able to log that, print out the information in the log so we can see it. And then we'll also do the same with our sell shorts. And so, here's the negative in front of our context weight, just so we know that we're selling short. And then we're going to go ahead and print that data into our log so we can see it. We're going to hold on to it until 10 minutes before market close, and then we're just going to exit. And this is our strategy for exit. You can just see it's going to print the time. So, that will tell us 10 minutes before market close. It's going to print that out in the log, and then we're going to exit all of our positions. If for some reason we bust a trade and we have an open order that's still outstanding at the end of the day, we're going to go ahead and cancel it. So when we get back into the saddle the next day, we're not making double orders or anything like that and putting our leverage out of whack. So let's go ahead and run this. I do suspect we may get an error or two, but let's go ahead and move forward anyway. So we're just going to go January 1. We'll do March 1. Okay, we're going to run. Okay, so here we go, line 54. All right, so I need to change this to long term. This will give us 200 days worth of data. So I messed up there. So again, we went to line 54, and instead of context.SMA slow, we just did SMA underscore long term. That will give us 200 days of data. Remember, our context.SMA long term is 200. Okay, I kind of expected this one. Cannot order Tesla. All right, so let's take a look at this and see what the fix is for this. So we go to line 100. Okay, line 100. This is in our sell strategy. So that's interesting. So we know the criteria to get into the sell strategy was a false, right? So we kind of come up here, and the criteria to be part of the data frame, to join the party, to be sold short, you had to have a false and a false. But that's interesting because what are they telling us here? Oh, it entered the benchmark February 2nd. All right, which, well, we all know that Tesla entered in sooner than that, but I guess the data wasn't populated from Blue Shift basically until the 2nd of February. And so, but it's interesting, it's saying it cannot order Tesla, so it got thrown into the sell short camp. How and why did that happen? So let's take a look at, let's just take a look at Tesla. Let's print data frame, and let's do equals symbol Tesla. Okay. This will show us something interesting. And let me just for a second, let's go ahead and pound this out. We'll unpound it in a minute, but I want us to be able to just take a look at Tesla and what it's showing us. Because if it came into, if the data doesn't come in until February 2nd, what type of data are we actually pulling down on the 1st of January? All right, so let's go to log. All right, here's Tesla. All right, so for Tesla, we know that there's no price data until February 2nd. So here we are on January 5th, okay? So the first trading day, I guess, that we have data for 2021, January 5th, where we can make buy and sells. And so we pull down the pricing data for Tesla, but there is none. So you see our moving averages are none. So there is no pricing. But interesting, why is the day 2 ago signal false? What is our day 2 ago signal? Our day 2 ago signal is, well, is NAN greater than NAN? Well, no, it's not. It's equal to. So that's going to show a false. So day 2 ago signal is going to show a false, and it certainly did. What about our day 1 signal? Well, is NAN greater than NAN? No, it's equal to. Oh, okay. So that's going to be false too. So here we go. Here we have basically a stock that we're not pulling any price data from, but it got caught up in our net. It got caught up in the sale net. Because our sale net was a false. So Tesla gets pulled into the sale net on January 5th. And what's interesting about that is that we have no price that we can buy it or sell it. And so we can't sell it short because we have no price to go on because it's not in the data. It's not in the data set. And so it basically throws this whole algorithm on the back test. It basically throws on the back test, our results off. So how can we almost trick the, because you can see current price here is NAND. Well, how can we get Tesla to not populate? Oh, I have an idea. Let's go ahead and do and let's go to open paren df current price. Well, we know that Tesla's price before it hits, before the data comes into play February 2nd is NAN. There's no pricing. So, but if we can say that the pricing is greater than 0, which we know it's not, then that will cause it to fail and will not be part of the party here. And so let's go ahead and rerun it, because if you think about it, Tesla will be part of the party because of the false, but it will fail because its current price is NAN, which is not greater than 0. So it will not make the cut, and Tesla will be left out, and our algorithm should be able to run. So let's go ahead and delete this line. And let's go back and unpound these. Let's go ahead and see if there's any other issues. Yep, here's one right here. This actually should be context.day1algo_SMA_slow. So basically we have our slow, our fast, our fast, our slow, our fast, our fast. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That will keep us going through the show. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and just go January 1. Let's go ahead and run it. Okay. So let's take a look here. So you could see the number of longs that we have at 77. The number of shorts we have is 19. Okay. I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm just going to change it to a 20-day moving average for our slow instead of a 10. And I just want to see what the difference might be by going with a little slower line instead of the 10-day line. Yeah, a little better performance. Still nothing to write home about, but still, just something to take a look at. And so, yeah, you can see the number of positions that we purchased into went down significantly, which makes sense because the 5-day is going to cross the 10-day many more times. And this trading strategy is designed to capture that. But the 5-day is going to cross the 20-day less times. And so it will versus the 10-day. And so we'll have probably less in our buy and sell universe for our data frames. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video, which will have the final part of our moving average crossover strategy. And we'll be taking a look at rebalancing and kind of how to rebalance our buy and sell strategy as opposed to just exiting it out each day and then repurchasing back in the morning. So we'll hold overnight and we'll rebalance, and we'll use this opportunity as a way to do a session on rebalancing. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button to get notice of that new video. And remember, you got this.